Hi and welcome. This is part 3 for learning Blender for absolute beginners. I believe in learning by doing, so I will try not to talk and show so much today, and instead we will go on and do some exercises by modeling a house. Before we begin, I would like to show you a few good things that it's good to know in the Blender app. One more thing I would like to show is that if we highlight the cube, we can go up here to almost the top right. I can click here on this little arrow and we can see the properties of this cube. And down here we have scale and dimension. So right now this cube is 2 by 2 by 2 meters. If we would like to change that, we can set the y-axis to 6 meters, the x-axis to 4 meters, and the height we can set that to 4 meters as well. And we have done the basic job, the basic dimension for a house. Now we will apply the scale. So to apply the scale, I select my object. I can go up here to the object and go down to apply and select scale. Now Blender knows that this cube is 4 by 6 by 4 meters. So enough talk, let's jump into edit mode and model a simple house with the skills we've learned. I will select my cube and I can press tab on my keyboard to go into edit mode. Or I can go up here to the menu, object, edit mode. In edit mode I will have my face select toggle on. And I will mostly use shortcuts to model a simple house. I will select the top face. I will go to the side view X. I will press G, Z, go down a little bit. I will press E, extrude that up to that point. Now we will do a loop cut, and that's this tool, the loop cut tool. Select it and hold it in the center of the cube and left click. We have cut this in half. Now we will have to change here and go up and select the select box. And we will have set the edge selection mode. Let's select the top edge here. I will press G and then Z and move that up. There, I will click. We now have a roof for our house. I will extrude the roof a little bit, so I will go to the face select mode. I will select this face. I will hold down Shift on my keyboard and select that face too. Now I will go up here and press face, extrude along normals, and drag the mouse. It looks a bit strange now, but that's okay. I will go to the front view by pressing Y. I will press G, Z. There. It doesn't have to be exact, but it's starting to look like a house. Let's make a door and a window. And for that I need to cut up this geometry so we can make a window and a door. I will use my loop cut tool again. I will see from the side view X, and I will make a loop cut in the center by clicking. Go here so you can see the line. I will left click on the mouse and hold it down and then drag it to the right or left, and that way we can move the loop cut where we want it. And when I'm happy with the location, I will just release the left click. I will do one more loop cut. Go down so we can see the line. I will click and hold, drag it a little bit to the side and release. And last loop cut will be on this side. I will see the line, I click, I hold down left click and I drag it to the left and release. I forgot one loop cut, so I will go back to X front view and do a horizontal loop cut. Click and drag it upwards. And in the center here of the geometry we will extrude a door. Now I will choose my face select, and we have to change the loop cut tool up to select box, and I will select these two faces. So first I click on one of the faces, I hold down shift and click on the other one. I want to inset these faces a bit, so I press I on my keyboard first, drag my mouse inwards and click. Now I will extrude it inwards by pressing E, moving the door inside a bit, and I have to make one more loop cut for the window here. I will select my loop cut tool, click, hold down and drag it upwards a bit and release. Choose my select box, face select and select that one. Zoom out a little bit so we can see more. So I will start by pressing I on the keyboard to inset this face a bit. I will first extrude this outwards, so press E, drag it out a bit. This will be the window frame. I inwards, click, and now extrude. Let's press tab on the keyboard to look in the object mode. Let's combine two objects. We are in object mode and I will add a cube. I can press Shift A and select it, or I can go up here, add mesh cube. Now it's inside the house, so I will move it up by pressing G, Z, move it up. We will now make a chimney. It's a bit too big now for the house, so by having the cube selected, I press S on the keyboard and make it smaller, perhaps like that. And we will apply the scale, so we go up to Object, Apply, Scale. With our chimney or the cube selected, we will go into Edit mode. I have the face select. We'll make it a little bit taller, grab Z, and I will go to the side view. Now I will press E for extrude, and I will release it by right clicking on the mouse. Right click. Now I will scale this by pressing S, scale it, we'll zoom in, it's scaled, we have the face selected. I will press E again, upwards, like that, and now I will press I to inset this face. I, and we will extrude it downwards and we will have a chimney. E for extrude, downwards. I will go out into object mode again and we have a chimney and a simple house. One last thing, I will just add some form of ground or base. So by Shift A, Mesh, Plane, it's too small, so I press S and make it larger. I will have to move it down, G, Z, move it down. So that's it for this time. Next time we will continue with the house, our very simple house, but it's a good exercise. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.